Back to another episode of TSP. How's everyone doing?
Hello.
Good, good. I felt like I should have been attention and saluting with that
I
intro,
know,
man.
dude. It's captivating, ain't it, dude? It just gets you right in like the groin area, and you're like, this feels good.
Yesterday we did a live show, and one of our it was a second time on the show, Lieutenant Colonel Kittredge, and he's a he went to Vietnam 3 times, Special Forces, really badass. Dude's 84 years old, but during the intro, I was looking down, I could see him, and he held a hand salute the entire time it was going on.
No. See, I used to do that. And my hand just is tired. I can't do that anymore.
I was like, man, this dude is a badass.
Dude, he had a great story, great trip, but we've got a new guest tonight, and God, I haven't seen him. I mean, shit, he lives in Tennessee, and I haven't seen him in a long time. I mean, shit, it's been 5 years, man, at least.
Well, no, we went out to Mission Barbecue a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. We did go to Mission Barbecue. I forgot about that.
Yeah, you came and kidnapped me from my house.
I did. That's right. That's when you were doing the night shift down in Smyrna.
Yeah.
Speaking of restaurants in Smyrna, I hear there's a good like a Chicago beef restaurant there.
Chicago Express, man, it's fucking
awesome. Yeah, that's been around for a minute. Yeah.
I gotta try that place out.
You get the cheesy beef and sausage. Oh my God, with the hot peppers or the sweet. It's amazing. My father-in-law lived in Chicago for a long time, and my wife did too. He makes me go down and get Chicago Express so we can have one of these sandwiches.
Is it authentic?
You gotta get it wet. You gotta get it wet. It's so good. So good.
Is it authentic Chicago?
Yeah, like in the owner there from there, and it's like, it's
dude. They got Cubby shit all over the place. The Blackhawks. Which, fuck. I'm sorry.
If you like Blackhawks. If you like New York style pizza, there's a spot in Smyrna called Giorgio's. He's like legit from New York. He's got like the oven fire.
Yeah, that sounds good, man.
Right there on the corner of Rock Springs and Old Nashville Highway. It's man, not many people know about it. And then I used to follow
Dave
his little One Bite app thing, and it had a high rating. And I went in there and I tried it. And it was really good pizza.
Wow, I'll put it on the list.
Definitely, yeah. All right, hey, before we get into Ryan's story, man, I just want to mention that the fundraiser coming up on September 11th. If you're in Middle Tennessee, in the Murfreesboro area, it's at Single Tree Barbecue, who is going to be our sponsor very, very soon. I'm just waiting for him to send me some info. I have the logo, but I asked him. He's always posting these badass TikToks and these little videos. I said, why don't you just make me a 30-second video introducing you and your restaurant? I think that would be perfect.
That's a great idea. Was that your idea? Did you think of that? Damn, look at you, man.
Every once in a while, man.
Wow, dude, I'm so proud of you.
So anyways, look for him for our sponsorship. And again, September 11th, all the proceeds, there's going to be bands, there's going to be barbecue, the whole 9 yards, some auctions. And the money is going to go to Minutes Wisely, where we send veterans and first responders to sporting events. So, Ryan, you're in the neighborhood. You're a veteran and a first responder. So, look at there.
He's going. He's going to the Preds game. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
it's going to be in the 200s, okay? Because you don't want to sit in the 300s. You're a big dude. I'm a big dude. I sat up there once. The 300s suck. Way too small for my ass. 200s, way better. Sorry. I know, Ryan. I know. I'm not the person that you knew 18 years ago. I'm happier. I'm more joyous. I'm more free, and I'm not getting yelled at by my seniors.
Was he always like this back in the day, Ryan?
He was more. I don't know. He was a little more. Yeah, he's a lot different. Like we all were.
Well, Ryan,
Ryan, was he a motard back then?
He still is.
Yeah. Hey, listen. That's right. I got 9 of these babies on my body, man. 9 of them. Yeah. Hey, Ryan is like the biggest motivator for University of Tennessee in Knoxville. All right, that guy wears orange and white every single weekend, man. It's like ridiculous. It's awesome.
Well, hey, I tell you what, man. Let's put a weekend in Knoxville. Let's take
go to
the
a
show
game.
there. Let's go to a game.
Well, Tennessee's opening up the season in Nashville against Virginia this year. They're playing a neutral site game in Nashville at Nissan Stadium.
Oh,
shush.
Yep. That's in like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's very close.
Yep.
That might be doable.
I think that is doable. That's definitely doable.
So, also, veteran meetup Thursday, August 24th, 7 p.m., I believe, at Single Tree also. Oh, 5. 1700.
Yeah, it's at 5. It's at Single Tree, same place. Operation Stand Down sponsored this thing. I just talked to Operation Stand Down. They're all coming. Andrew Littlefield, Tina Vaith. They're all in the Marine Corps League with me. And it's a veteran meetup. So if you're a veteran in the Rutherford County area, come up to Single Tree Barbecue on August 24th. First drink is free. And then there's something else. I don't know. They're offering something else. I can't remember.
Are they local, those guys?
Who? Operation Stand Down?
Yeah, Littlefield.
Littlefield lives in Smyrna. Tina lives in Smyrna. But they work at Operation Stand Down in Nashville. So
yeah, I got you. Right on.
And
that commute from Smyrna to Nashville sucks.
Yes, it does. By the way, I just became a biomedical transport guy for the Red Cross. I just had to do that on Sunday.
You're insane.
I'm doing it Thursday and Sundays to take blood from Murfreesboro to Nashville. And
what do you do that shit spills in your car? I could totally see that happening to you.
No, it's boxed up, man. They make it very
You're
safe.
gonna have to burn your car.
Dude, it's in transport cases, man. It's totally safe. Dude, I took it in my own car. Like, I'm supposed to get my own car, but they're like, oh, we don't have any cars for you. So I just fit 8 boxes of blood, platelets, and the sharps all in my car, and it all fit. It was amazing. I got there in like 30 minutes, dropped it off, took 10 minutes to drop it off, came home. Really easy.
That's disgusting.
Hey, it's saving lives, man. I'm saving lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is that. All right.
Don't you have to donate blood anyways? Don't you have to donate blood this month? Fleek?
Who?
Isn't it your time?
I haven't donated blood in a while.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, I used to quite a bit. I mean, I'm not afraid.
What are you, O positive? What's your blood type?
I don't even remember. I always forget. Oh, I'm sure it's O.
What's your blood type, Ryan?
B negative. It's the second rarest.
Whoa. Damn.
Yep. I didn't know that until, it's a true story. I didn't know that until my first deployment. We get there and they're, wearing your patch and kill card, kill number, and you got your blood type. And I'm looking at the list of our platoon, no other B negatives but me. Look at the company, no other B negative for me. I was like, is this a typo? And then my corpsman was like, yeah, there's only like, I have to look again. It's like 8% of the world's population has B negative. It's some low number. I didn't know that.
So, no. Wow.
So what the hell would they do if you got hit on the battlefield?
Universal.
Yeah.
Universal.
The universal. Like, I'm the universal. I'm O positive, so I'm the universal receiver or universal donor. I can't remember. Hold on. Let me look it up.
You're going to the wrong guy here.
Hey, did you hear the sergeant major over at MCRD San Diego got relieved of duty for loss of confidence?
Loss of confidence? What the hell is that?
Confidence of his troops.
What?
He got fired. Basically, he got fired.
Jesus.
Did they say what he did?
No, I didn't read it. I didn't read into it. I just saw a quick blurb.
How do you? Did anybody get killed? Did a recruit die or something? Was there a lawsuit?
Yeah, actually, it's
okay. Well, that's probably why.
They had a lot of deaths in San Diego, and we've had a lot of deaths at Parris Island. And it's just because they're dehydrated or they collapse, or I know a couple guys died in the pool over in San Diego, but I don't know, man.
What was the one fucked up story from a few years ago in Parris Island? A drill instructor had a recruit in the dryer.
Yeah. Yes, I heard. Yes, I did hear that.
Die. I shouldn't be laughing if he died, but
No,
I mean,
it's not. It's God.
yeah.
No, God rest his soul.
When I heard the story, I swear to God, I've seen more fucked up shit in boot camp than that. Like, I mean, I'm not lying. Like, there was this one time we had this drill hat. His name was Sergeant Williams, mean black guy from Brooklyn. This dude had us all on the quarterdeck, and this guy next to me, who was just a special person, a special recruit, always got in trouble. He's struggling with his push-ups, and he starts at one point, goes, "Oh, Jesus." He goes, "Oh, Jesus, you want Jesus?" We had a pull-up bar on the quarterdeck. He put him up there, made him hang like Jesus Christ on the cross.
Holy hell.
Couldn't hang no more. And I'm looking up, and I'm seeing him. He goes, now do you want Jesus? It's like, holy shit.
God damn.
Wow. What battalion were you?
3rd Battalion, baby.
Oh, of course. Well, yeah.
We were the old 3rd Battalion that was hidden in the back. Out of school distance.
That's what I was gonna say. You guys, you couldn't even hear the screams from over there.
No.
When did you go?
06.
06.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Damn.
I mean, that was to me, that was like, I don't know, 2nd, 3rd week. I just remember by the time I wrote a letter, like when we were writing letters, like this dude was staying the night, like most nights. He was fucking checking our letters, like these motherfuckers snitching on me. I guarantee some of them letters didn't go home. He's like throwing that shit away. So,
yeah. Before we go any farther, why don't you introduce yourself, Ryan?
Yeah. Who are you, Ryan?
So my name is Ryan Mosley. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee area. I was raised all over Missouri, Georgia, Florida. I lived in Turkey for a couple of years with my dad when he was in the Air Force over there. That was when I was younger. I have vague memories of that.
Wow.
And then when I got back over here in high school, 9/11's what made me join the military. When I was a junior, I enlisted in the delayed entry program with the Marines. My dad was in the Air Force, so he was naturally pissed that I was joining the Marines. So I shipped out to boot camp. Literally, I got my diploma May 20th. The next day, I got on the bus to MEPS and shipped out. And went to boot camp and did 4 years in the Marine Corps Infantry, 2 deployments, did the MU, and did Afghanistan, and then got out and immediately worked at the state prison here in Nashville, where death row is, Riverbend Maximum Security Institution. I did that for 4 years, and then I got hired on at the Smyrna Police Department, worked on patrol for about 10 years, and now I'm currently with the Apprehension Enforcement Unit. It's a fugitive task force. So,
holy shit.
That's where I am now. So,
damn.
So you have to go chase down bad guys.
Yeah. So we chase down felony offenders. So let's say, somebody's got fucked up charges or they're absconder. They've been on the run, a fugitive, like Andrew. I'll get him. He ain't going nowhere. I know where he is.
Use me as an example, because that did happen to me a couple years ago. So
yeah. So let's say a local, they're wanted in this county, but obviously they have jurisdictions. They can't go outside their scope to go get them. It'll get dumped on our caseload, and there's 6 of us in Middle Tennessee. We're undercover. We'll go and do our investigation, surveillance, and then we'll hit the house, snatch them up, put them in jail, and then on to the next one. So,
what did we call? Didn't they have a job like that when you were getting out of the Marine Corps? They were called. They looked for the guys that went AWOL and Article 86 and all that. Jeff Stockton was one of them. What are they called? Damn.
Were they civilians or were they in the military doing the job?
No, they were military, and they went AWOL, and they actually got these guys, sergeants and above, to go look for these guys that had jumped, jumped their enlistment. Damn, I can't remember what they're called. But my squad leader, before he was getting out, after we got back from Karma, he was one of those guys. Like, so if you went AWOL, he went to go get you. And that guy's a scary motherfucker. And he lives in East Tennessee. And I don't talk to him. I haven't talked to him in 19 years. Well, I miss you, Jeff. If you're listening to this, I miss you, Sergeant Stockton. I really do, sir.
Speaking of scary guys, like when Andrew's peer group, he was deployment or 2 before me when I gotten in. Here's peer group. Stephen Koya. Do you remember Stephen Koya?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's one of my Facebook friends. He's married, lives in New Hampshire, right?
Yep, that's him.
No, he lives in Rhode
Island. He lives in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island, yeah.
So this guy, and let me tell you how my introduction. I'm 18, get dropped off, get out of boot camp, get out of SOI. We get dropped off at the barracks in 3-8, and they received us because all the guys that just got back from Iraq, they were on leave. So the only ones that were behind were the wounded warriors. The guy that received us getting off the bus had one fucking arm. And he's screaming at us. And then there's wounded warriors on the balcony. He's like, my shrapnel in my legs got more time and grade than you, boot motherfucker. So we're running around. We have no idea what's going on. They come up to me in the middle of the night because they're drunk as shit. And they're like, they told us who our team leaders were. I just saw the name. And it looked like Cola because it was COLA. But his name is COIA, but the I looked like an L. So I thought it was Cola. So they asked me, they said, who's your fucking fire team leader? I was like, Lance Corporal Cola? They're like, Cola? So they called him. He came back early from leave. I was on the first floor. My window, our AC was broken, our barracks. So it was hot. I had the window open. He's drunk as shit. He goes up. My bed's right next to the window. He screams my name, and I'm laying there. It's like a horror movie. And I'm trying him not to see me. And I look up. I was like, I'm Mosley. He goes, what are you fucks are Mosley? And he grabs me and throws me out the window. And it makes me low fall all through the fucking courtyard. Like, Cola, I'll show you fucking Cola. Starts pouring Coke all over me. Like, real life shit. That was my introduction to the fleet. Like, real life shit. Like,
that's amazing.
So
that's amazing.
Andrew, you were part of that mess too. So
hey, listen, whoa! I was India Company. I was on another HP. You
so
were what,
speaking
HP
of his company,
155.
His company had a Corporal Sanders.
Saunders.
So
Fuck him.
I'll never forget.
Dude.
I watched this guy get arrested by our battalion commander in front of all of us. This guy took one of his boots.
Yep.
Literally hog-tied him in the back, put a fucking blanket over his head, and beat his fucking head in with a comm battery.
A 5590 battery. Yes, his name is Saunders. He lives in Paducah, Kentucky, and I hope he's still in jail.
Yeah, I mean,
that guy's crazy.
Wasn't he like attempted murder charges? And then he got in trouble again after he got out.
Yep.
After he got out, he did something else.
There's a video about him, and you see him in a nice yellow jumpsuit, and he's got tattoos on his neck. And I don't know. He's just a horrible human being. I don't know what happened to him. Funny story about that guy. When I got to the fleet after SOI, guess who I had to stand parade rest in front of? The senior Lance Corporal Saunders.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was 27 years old, standing in front of him. Because everybody else was on leave because they had just gotten back. They were on leave from Haiti, from the 2004 Haiti deployment.
That was supposed to be. That was the one that was supposed to be a humanitarian aid mission. They ended up getting a bunch of firefights.
There were a lot of people got some combat action ribbons. You got a combat action ribbon, correct?
Yep.
Did you get a Purple Heart with us?
No, I did not. No. I if I'd have pushed it, I could have. Especially if my Humvee got blown up and my ACL got fucked up, but I didn't. We didn't go back. When we're on foot with the Let's issue, I got knocked out by one. We could have easily have. I could have pushed it. There were a few guys that that I know that had bad concussions, and they went back. And if they went to Germany or they went back to the main base, they put them in for it and they got it. But there was a lot of us that just, we didn't have no choice. We were short-bodied. I mean, we couldn't leave.
We were always short-bodied.
Yeah.
Damn. We only
Can you go back and try to get your Purple Heart now?
I mean, I haven't thought about it. I haven't really pushed it. I mean, it's all documented. Everything's there. I mean, I get my, VA disability from it. I mean, so.
And now you went to, did you guys go to Helmand Province or did you guys? Helmand.
It was Helmand Province, a place called Nowzad, Afghanistan. So.
Nowzad. That's right.
Yep.
And you were friends with Lance Corporal Andrew Carpenter, correct?
Yes.
Did you know
him? He was the one. He was the one that got killed the deployment after I left. He was from this area, and crazy story about that. I was working
I met
at the
him
prison.
once.
Well, I was working at the prison at the time when that had happened, and there was something I was doing, but I was in Smyrna, or I was in the area, and his actual funeral service that was bringing his body back happened to be there, and I got to see that. I mean, I wasn't like it was intentional. It just so happened to be it.
He's actually there's a Marine Corps league named after him, I think in East Tennessee. The Lance Corporal Andrew Carpenter Stone's Marine Corps League detachment. I can't remember what number it is, but his wife got a house.
He had a baby too. Baby
had a
was
baby
only
too. Yeah,
a couple
that's
months
right.
old. Yeah. Yep.
Man, and then you served with Michael Ouellette, Navy Cross recipient from our battalion.
Correct.
Mr. Warren was telling us a story from his perspective. Is there anything you could say from your perspective? Were you there when he passed away?
I was behind him. I mean, I was his fire team leader. I was one of his fire team leaders. I was there for the start to finish. I was one of the few guys that wrote the statement that helped him get his Navy Cross that he has now.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, just a little backstory about him. He was another one of those scary guys that when first got dropped to the fleet,
Very
he
scary.
was bigger dude. Yep, bigger dude. Looked kind of like he had like the Sylvester Stallone thing going on. Yeah,
dude, he was one. Dude, seriously, I was on the way out and I met him and I'm like, thank God I'm leaving because that guy looks fucking scary.
Yeah, he was. But he was actually really smart. Like he looked like just that natural caveman dummy, but he was he was one of the smarter guys in our platoon. He's very intelligent. And, he read books a lot. He'd go out party every once in a while, get drunk and belligerent like everybody did. But again, he was a little bit more responsible on things. And, I got pretty tight with him when we were on the Mew. And then when we got back, he made me one of his fire team leaders. And, with him, I remember he went off to squad leader school when we were doing the workup for Afghanistan. And I want to say he was there for squad leader school was 10 or 12 weeks. I mean, they're gone every day. So he's not with the squad. So I was in charge of the squad while he was gone. And I just remember at that point, how strenuous and how hectic it was, trying to, you got these 18, 19-year-old, kids, young men, and you're having to train them and get them ready for war. And again, when he came back, it just picked up and it was like, oh, thank God he's back, So when all that went down that day and we found out he died, it was kind of surreal because it's like, what the fuck do we do now? I mean, we still had 3 months left of that deployment. So it was definitely a different experience, to say.
Yeah.
With Ouellette, he taught a lot of stuff. If you read the book, it talks in there how, he liked to read up on the enemy. He liked to read up on, he knew we were going to Afghanistan, so he'd read books on the Taliban. He was big on that book, On Killing. He was real big on, just learning Korean tactics and, learning about the Northern Vietnamese military and just stuff that other people would do, so he could try to better us and better himself. I don't think he had any intentions of re-enlisting fully, but secretly he did love being in the Marine Corps. He did. He tried to be like everybody else that was, I'm getting out, but he did extend to go to that, that Afghanistan appointment. He didn't have to. His contract was up. He extended it a year to go. So, because he always wanted to go to Afghanistan. That was his thing. So, and he was such a good guy. He'd come off, like I said, he'd come off like an asshole. And he could be. But when you got to know him and you worked and we did stuff and made him happy, it's been years since been on there, so I don't give a shit who sees this. But there was one time he smuggled in some alcohol over there in Afghanistan. And he got it sent in, and he told all of us. We got back from a patrol, and we knew we were about to go to QRF, so we knew we wouldn't have anything going on for 12 hours. So he had called us for like an emergency meeting in our hooch. And when we stayed at in Afghanistan, our platoon, we had our own platoon file. We were on top of a hill, and it was bunkered underground. So when you slept in your cots and hooches, you literally were going underground. Like it was like a scene from a movie, you know. And he called us all in there, and he's talking to us, and he had this bottle of whiskey, and he just passed us all around shots, and we all did it. And sadly enough, I shit you not, we were leaving patrol. That was the last actual legit patrol we had together as a squad. And then we had that alcohol. We go down for QRF, and 2 days later is when we go to do that battle damage assessment, and Alec got killed. So
at least you guys didn't get in trouble or NJP'd for having contraband in Afghanistan like I did in 2005.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
I did. I had a Listerine bottle filled and sent to me with Jack Daniels in it. And I got drunk as hell with an assaultman. I'm not going to name names, but one assaultman, a mortarman, and a couple 11s. And I was fine. I was good. I went to the MWR at Camp Fallujah, and then we came back, and actually he was in Lima Company. He was in my battalion in boot camp, and you know who he is. We actually were drunk as hell, and we drove with Neary and Sergeant Major Rick James back to the MWR after we were like hammered, wasted, drunk. And Neary couldn't tell if I was drunk or not. And I got out, and then I passed out on a Jersey barrier, and I was done. I was done for the rest. Like, I went down to E3.
Did everybody else go down with you?
No, I took the whole blame. I went down to E2. Sorry, E2 twice, E3 twice, E4 once. Yeah, Neary was. You never got to meet. Lieutenant Colonel Neary, did you, Ryan?
No.
You had. We had Sinclair.
I had Sinclair, then I had Odom, and then Sullivan.
Oh yeah, I heard. Okay, one Odom. I got a story about him. Two, I heard Sullivan is a badass. I heard he was a great battalion commander.
Yeah.
Odom, I went on recruiting duty in 2008. Like, I had 3 months left to go. So you guys are all getting ready for Afghanistan. I was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I don't want to do the CFT. I don't want to do this. I want to go recruiting duty in Naples, Florida. So they let me go. I came back. You guys had already had the change of command. And so me and Sergeant Brosco are outside the COC, the old COC. And these two guys come up to us. So they're coming back from AP Hill or Pickett or something, or wherever you guys had gone to. They're wearing their packs on the front. And we're both sitting there. We're smoking cigarettes. We got our hands in our pockets. We're just sitting down. These guys come up to us and we're like, hey, what's up? We give them a head nod. It's Sergeant Major Bradford and Lieutenant Colonel Odom.
Oh, God.
And we give them a head nod. And in about 3 seconds, I was whisked up away to Sergeant Major Bradford's office. And he's like, Andrew, Far, what the fuck, dude? Get your head on straight. Get out of my face. And I'll see you as a civilian again. I'm like, okay. See you, Sergeant Major. Thanks. Yeah, that was scary.
So I got a story about Sergeant Major Bradford.
Oh, yay!
We used to call him the tall Hitler because if you look at his photo,
he had the mustache like that.
His photo looked like Hitler, but this guy's like 6'6", so he was the giant Hitler. So, and he acted like him too. So listen, I shit you not, we were in CAX in California, and we were there for about a month.
CAX.
The Mojave Desert training. We're all miserable. We were doing the simulated mount town thing, and we were simulating a checkpoint where we had basically the town shut off. Like, nobody's getting in without, you know who you are or whatnot. And you know how they are in training. They're real big on ground guides. So I got the checkpoint. Alec comes up to me. He goes, I don't give a fuck if it's the President Bush. He goes, you make them get a ground guide. I'm not getting chewed out by Gunny again. I was like, gotcha. So this fucking Humvee convoy rolls up, and I come up, and they give me some call sign. And I was like, okay, I don't know who the fuck you are. And all I see is this Lance Corporal all decked out in this motard gear, it all cleaned up. He ain't doing shit in the field. And I'm all miserable and I'm looking at him. All right, well, that's fine. Well, you need a fucking ground guide. And that's all I said. And I said it just like that. And I go to walk back and I see this fucking figure get out of the Humvee and it's Sergeant Major Bradford. He goes, who the fuck are you talking to like that? I need a fucking ground guide. You come see me after this, you motherfucker. And I'm like, oh shit. So he sees me. I shit you not. My other fire team leader, Vera, he comes up to me. He's like, what happened? I was like, I don't know, but I need you to relieve me real quick. I ran into the town and hid behind the MRE boxes. And Alette comes up. He goes, what the fuck happened? And I told him, he goes, well, did he get your name? I was like, no, I took my name patch off. He goes, well, just stay here. so he was so mad. He couldn't figure out who had done it to him. And Alette just hit me. I was like,
yeah, Sergeant Major Bradford, he was a special kind of Marine. He was, damn. I mean, I like the other Sergeant Major better. I mean, I like Sergeant Major Bradford, but who was the other one that we had? He was like,
Gant.
Dude, Sergeant Major Gant. Now that guy was amazing, dude. That guy was awesome.
Yeah, and because you could just tell, like when you talk to him, his demeanor was so calm and cool. Like you just knew he'd fuck people up.
Dude, Recon Marine. I mean, this guy, dude. I remember in Ramadi, he used to like get out of the car. And he didn't have a Kevlar on, he didn't have flak. He would just walk everywhere with like his M9, and that's it. And then like he wouldn't have any protection because he was such a badass.
Yeah.
Hey, Zipsy was in Lima, right?
Zipsy was, I knew Zipsy well. He actually, rest in peace, where he died at.
Yeah,
I heard about that. Out, it was right here in Murfreesboro.
Zipsy lived here.
He moved when he got out. He moved to Murfreesboro.
No, he didn't.
Yes, and he was going to college, and that's where he got. I don't know the circumstances before I say it, but I know he was involved in a fatal crash. So yeah,
I didn't know. I heard about the crash, but I had no idea he was in Murfreesboro.
So he was. There's another Marine that was in your class, Hamilton. Was that his name? Hamilton.
Yeah.
There's another one that he's local here, and he was best friends with him, and I want to say he had moved here. I went to college. It was something. But I know because when Zipsy, he asked me, because, he was a character. And
yes, he was. Yes, that's well said. He was a character.
He's a funny guy. And when he came up to me, because I was a brand new boot, he asked me where I was from, and I told him Smyrna. He goes, oh, I love going to Murfreesboro. I think I'm going to move out there. And that's where I found out he was moving out here.
You know what? I find out new information every time we have a show. That is, I had no idea. I mean, I know we got a couple India guys, one in East Tennessee, 2 in East Tennessee, 3 in East Tennessee. I know there's one guy in Smyrna, Nieves. He lives down there, or he used to. We had another guy. He worked in the armory when you got there, because you got there. Who were your boot drops? Like, who came in with you?
Oh, well, there's a lot of them. Zany, Conte, Crawford.
Conte, I remember him.
Andrew Conte.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yep. I'm trying to think. You were India. I'm trying to think who I came in with that went to India. Welsh. You remember Welsh?
Oh, well, yeah, I remember him.
Yeah,
I remember Welsh.
There's 2 Welshes. There's one that went to India, and there was another one that went to weapons. So
did you have Jimmy Potts?
Potts sounds familiar. Was
tall
he a
guy, tall guy,
skinny,
bad teeth? Yeah, that's him. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So Anthony Carden, you remember him?
That name
Tony,
sounds familiar.
He died. He passed away from an overdose, but he went to Afghanistan with you guys. I remember he was Ramadi, Mew, Afghanistan.
See, this brings back what we were talking about earlier with the Saunders thing.
Yeah.
So this was an ongoing issue that we had to deal with our group. So you had these guys, they were just deploying to war. So when they were free on their free time, all they would do is either alcohol, drugs. They had no help with their mental health. So you had these guys like, and when I mean this is serious, like you get an 18-year-old kid like me, and now we're being put in front of these homicidal maniacs, and they're to train us, so we're at their mercy. It was surreal shit. And that was a big problem then, is there was no break. It was go, 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 and you're trying to get to the finish line. So you're going to say whatever you can to make sure you're not going to get held back, make sure you're not going to get, med boarded or whatever. Yeah. So you don't, so you can just get the fuck out. And unfortunately, not everybody can handle all that. So when you hear these stories about, when we're telling you these stories about what Corporal Saunders did or what Koya did or what, I mean, I've seen crazy shit, in the fleet with people that, and I'm sure we all have, and I think to me, that was the biggest difference is nobody was sitting down in command and going, well, maybe we need to let these guys recharge longer than 10 fucking days before we throw them right back into the war mindset with, oh, by the way, with these 18, 19-year-old kids who have, like, think about
just schoolhouse Marines, yeah.
Right. So I had a guy that was in my company. His name was Durr. He was from some small podunk town in Iowa. Literally, like, maybe 300 people in his town. Guy never seen a black guy in his life. First black guy he saw was Sergeant Robinson. You remember Sergeant Robinson?
Oh, my God.
The scariest fucking black guy you've ever seen.
Yes, he was.
He had 2 gold teeth. He's now a politician in Atlanta. He's a fucking politician in Atlanta.
That's him? Shit.
Got his gold teeth removed. He's like suit and tie, Mr. Nice Guy. Like, look, this guy, he was from Atlanta. Big black guy. He had 2 gold teeth. One had a Playboy bunny diamond, and the other one had a regular diamond. Durr and me, when Durr was there, Durr's just staring at him. I was like, why you keep staring at him? This guy, he's never seen black guys before. So he's scared to death of Sergeant Robinson. Robinson calls him up. He's like, who the fuck you from, motherfucker? He's like, I'm from Iowa. He goes, Iowa? What, you scared because I'm black? What was the gold teeth? Like, he just fucking let him have it. We came in a boot drop with this other big black guy, Lionel Smith.
Lionel Smith, yeah.
Big jack guy, like, didn't take no shit. He was from Baltimore. He got attitude with Sergeant Robinson. Me and Durr got to watch Sergeant Robinson throw him through Hubbard's, you remember Hubbard? Threw him through Hubbard's barracks window, and the only thing Hubbard was mad about was it broke his TV. He's like, my fucking TV! He didn't care the fact that some fucking boot landed just flying through his window. And Durr is just like looking at this, and he's just fucking scared to death. I was like, this motherfucker's gonna run away. He never did, but when you talk about with him, like we'd be on post, he's like, some of the experiences I've had, he's like, I go back home and I try to explain this to people, and it's like, I'm afraid if I do, they're gonna be scared of black people.
Well, dude, hey, listen, I know exactly what you're talking about. We saw some really weird but crazy animal style shit.
Yeah.
It even translates to after 19 years later, it's still happening, especially with my guys.
Well, and this is what I was trying to get at with the whole mental health thing. Do you remember Lenny Youngblood?
Youngblood?
Youngblood.
God, I haven't heard that. Yeah, wait, hold on. I'm Facebook friends with him.
He died. Shit. He died 5 years ago.
That's right.
Yeah, he died, and it was more or less either suicide or overdose. It was something. It was a drug issue. And when I say this guy was the embodiment of a machine gunner, he fucking was. This guy, I watched this guy. They were in a firefight. We were the QRF. We were coming up there to pick up his platoon. He's on a hill, and they're getting mortared and shot at by a fuckload of Taliban. He waits till his squad gets up, and they run down the hill. Lenny Youngblood gets up, puts the fucking 240 on his hip, and just, that's him. And just starts fucking dumping rounds. Probably didn't hit nothing, but he scared the fuck out of the Taliban, and they stopped firing. And then he goes to run downhill. We thought he got hit. He rolls and tumbles down the hill with the 240, gets up, and then just keeps running. Like, the guy was a fucking man.
He was a damn good machine gunner.
He was a fucking beast.
Now, I was a machine gunner too, and I never did anything like that. I did get thrown off of Machine Gun Hill because I went outside my left lateral limit. Dude, Sergeant Stockton, he grabbed my yoke. I went outside like an inch. He grabbed the yoke on the back of my fucking thing, threw me down. He's like, "You're ammo, bitch, for the rest of the day." I'm like, "Thank you, Sergeant." I had to carry that shit up. It was oh man. I hate CACs. I hate it. I've done two of them.
And for us, we were on range 400.
400, yeah.
We were the fucking assault element. So imagine being that, like where you're like,
not at all. Nope.
Like it sucked. And to me, like when you're doing those things, you're like, all right, I can see this. Like, but like I know, man, the best training in the military is like where you get to like actually like not rush it and just relax and go through it. The problem with that is like with the Marine Corps, I felt like for me, the best training I got with my Marines was when we're going out on our own and doing our own thing. Like those ranges are good for shooting and stuff, but when they're just screaming and yelling and you're just trying to get through it because you're thinking about when's the next 72 or 120.
Yeah.
Like you're not getting nothing out of that. And now like where I am in law enforcement now, it's different because it's not like I trained officers, for the last 4 years when I was at Smyrna. I was an FTO. So I would get a new guy, and usually they're 22 years old, majority of them, and they're college, no life experience, most of them not military. So it's like, all right, I got to put them through the ringer, get them out here. And, it's a wake-up call for them because the first time, they go to tell somebody, hey, you're under arrest, and they go, fuck you, come and make me. That's when it's an eye-opener. It's like, look, just because you got a badge and gun don't mean people are going to listen. You got to earn your money sometimes. And so what I would do is if it was night shift and it was 2 a.m, there's no calls coming out. I would get the other trainees, the other FTOs, we get in the parking lot, we go over training procedures, or you go in the gym, work on tactics. You have to go above and beyond to do your stuff. Like when we're out in the field, what's the first thing you do in the infantry when you're out in the field? Their very first field experience. What do the seniors do to you? Take you out on a night patrol.
Yeah, night patrol. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing.
I hate it. I hate night patrols. I hate them.
Yeah. But that's the thing is like those were not like scheduled stuff. Those were senior Marines who gave a shit and wanted you to do good and wanted your squad to be good, that went out and done because it was more of a controlled environment. They're not having to show off. They're not having to yell because the gunny's there. Because, that was my personal experience. I learned more when I could just sit down and see it and do it instead of just rush and scream and yell. Like you get nothing done with that.
Well, no, you're right. Because my first deployment, it was a shit show. All right. I was 26, never been shot at. I'm fucking freaking out. SOI, like I was like, I forgot everything that I learned at SOI. And then the second, like Ramadi came around, I was 182 pounds. I was fucking lean and mean. And I actually listened. Like we actually had a really good squad leader. His name is Sergeant Herrera. He retired as a first sergeant last year.
Wow.
Great guy. He was a scout sniper, same as Tank. You knew Tank, right? Wheeler?
Tank. Yes.
Wheeler and I went to basic together.
Okay.
And Wheeler, like I haven't talked to him in forever. And I know he's in Connecticut. Ryan, if you're there, hello, love you, I miss you. But yeah, like Ryan, and like all these guys, these older guys, like from Haiti or from Fallujah or Karma, like we learned all this stuff. And in Ramadi, I got to learn. I was actually a good Marine in Ramadi. It took me a year to learn my mistakes from the year before and make me into a better Marine. And I give praise to my senior guys, to the guys to the left and the right of me, because they taught me some really, really good skills, which, I miss them. But they're pigs. They're all pigs, all of them. They're all animals, all of them. Dude, we just had a reunion 2 weeks ago in Altamont, Tennessee.
I saw that.
The owner of the Airbnb in the 7 years that they had this Airbnb had never seen it destroyed as it was on Sunday morning. I had to stay back and clean up for like 2 hours. I mean, okay, and this is coming from an officer one of my officers. Okay, I'm not going to give you his name, but this officer is like, he's like, Far, I get 1 weekend a year to go buck crazy, and he did. He broke everything in that damn house, and I told him 4 times.
Officer?
I told an officer.
Oh God!
I told him 4 times. I'm like,
it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Stop kicking that thing, because if you do, you're gonna break it. Well, 5 minutes later, the statue gets broken, and I'm like, fuck.
Why is the officer acting like that? That doesn't make any sense.
Because he likes to have. Well, it's where he's from, because they don't have too many rules down south. I mean, it's a little bit south from here, and I'll give you a couple guesses on where he's from. But
So
this is one of their hand signals.
oh,
Okay. Yeah, Brian, you know what this is, right?
yeah.
They wear orange. They wear orange in
Texas. Come about
yeah,
Texas.
there you go.
Yeah. So think about officers, like especially in the infantry, like what we would do. And I had some really good ones, and then I had some ones that were like robots. I didn't really have any bad ones. I didn't. I'm not gonna sit here.
Who are your officers?
I had Lieutenant Manzi was my first one. Lieutenant. He was a little short, stocky guy. He went to an ROTC college, and I believe he graduated from a college. Like he was a frat boy, like cool dude. And then we had another one, Lieutenant Langer. He's still in, I think.
Langer. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
He was a graduate of the Citadel, and those fuckers are like top notch, robots. So,
I will differ on. I will. He probably was really good. Our guy from the Citadel was not so good.
So, well, I'm just telling you my experience. But how we would know how they were going to be as a person, not just a Marine, was what we do, what Lima Company, I don't know if y'all did this, but every time we had our first field op, we're out in the field with our new platoon commander. When he's giving us the night brief, we'd have somebody, usually a bigger guy or a more senior guy, would come up and dunk the lieutenant. We'd all beat his ass. And how he took it, and we didn't. But how
we didn't do that. Nope.
So, but how he took it would be for us, like Manzi, when we did it to him, he got up, he's clapping, and he's like, I'm glad to be. It was like basically a gang initiation, basically.
Sounds like pulling the ring for officers. Awesome, sweet. No, India, we did not do that shit. No.
See,
At least, I wasn't part of it.
Well, we did it because, our thought process in it, I'm sure it crossed some of their heads is, what if what's he going to do? Fucking get rid of his whole platoon? No. So, if everybody does it, it's either he's going to be happy and laugh, or he's going to get up and he's going to be like, what the fuck? And that's how you know what type of person he's going to be. So then from there on out, it sets the tone for us. Like, okay, we got to watch ourselves around this guy. So, and that's what we did.
How was your MU? How long was that?
7 months.
Glorious.
7?
Let's see, July to January. Yeah.
What ship were you on?
I was on the Ponce.
Kearsarge.
The queer barge.
The queer barge. Yes, we had a really great gym. You were on a Ponce. That was a destroyer, right?
Yeah, it was an LPD.
LPD. That's right. Okay.
We had the we had the boat. We had the AAVs. So, but
where did you guys go?
08, 07. It's 07 to 08.
07, July 07 to January 08.
We got back.
What ports did you guys go to?
Do what?
What ports did you go to?
The ports we went to it was different because some ships went to different things. Like Andrew got to do the shellback thing. We didn't.
Yeah. You're a wog. Oh shit.
Whatever. Look, when they were talking about that shellback shit, I was like, man, I ain't fucking doing this shit again. Like, I'm so mad. And then we didn't have to do it. I was like, well, it's one less awkward conversation we got to have with each other.
For real.
Well, hey, you didn't miss out that much, man. It was just a really strenuous PT session on the deck of the ship. Okay, that's about it. With water hoses.
Wasn't y'all the only ship to do that? I think y'all were the only ship that had to do that.
well, there was a Gunston Hall, there was a Ponce, and there was us, right? And
Yes.
Lima was Ponce, Kilo was Gunston Hall, and then
India and headquarters.
India and headquarters were
weapons.
and weapons. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
We were the Hilo company. You guys were the AAVs. And then did you do that training, man? The AAV training?
Yeah, listen, I looking back on it, fuck that. Like, listen, what was it last year when a couple years ago when that Marine squad died?
Eight people died, yeah.
We had a training op on Onslow Beach before the Mew, and our AAV we're in just died. It broke down and died. And we're in the water for fucking hours. It's heat. It's hot. Everybody's fucking dying. I mean, we're running out of water. We had to wait until the tide calmed down so they could tow us. Another AAV had to come out and snatch up and tow us back. And I was like, fuck this. This is a death trap. And if it sunk, like when we were in there, because we were leaving the boat from a field op to come back to Onslow to get back to the barracks. We had literally all these bags, all of us crammed in there. There was no room for movement. If that thing would have sunk, ain't nobody getting out alive. You're all fucking dead. And it's just like,
thank God I was not in. I'm sorry. No offense. I will never. I mean, I'll ride in one on land. On sea, nope.
I won't even look at one now. Like if I see one, I just look the other way. I'm like, nope. Like,
hey, listen, you missed out on all the fast roping. Okay, we did a lot of fucking fast roping on the deck of that ship, like 90, 60, 80 foot up, like over in the middle of the ocean. It's crazy. Off of 53s, 46s. I mean, it was.
Did anybody ever fall?
No, nobody fell. We had some really good hearse trainers, like our seniors, Gianetto. We had some really Thompson. We had some really good people in charge. That we didn't die. We could have, but we didn't.
Did you get to go to Dubai?
Twice.
Yeah, so we did too. So I got a fucked up story about Dubai.
I want to hear this.
So when we roll, especially in Dubai, we roll deep. We usually roll like 8 or 9 deep, especially if we're going outside of like the little port.
Hard Rock Cafe.
Well, yeah, but at the time we didn't. We were in an Islamic country, we were over there fighting Islamic country. So we were kind of a little on the edge about that. So we went out there and hit the town up hard. Koya, he was one of the ones that was with us this night. We had a bunch of, other, Marine boots. We're all out. There was a couple Senior Marines with us and we're all drunk as shit. We're trying to walk back. In our mindset, we think we can walk back because we had the Cinderella rules, had to be back by midnight. So we're trying to walk back to the port and we get lost. We're in this alley. And we're like, hey, let's go in this building, take a piss, and we'll just call a cab. I'm like, all right. So we walk up to this building, and, obviously there was music going on inside, so we knew that it was open. And we didn't think of our mind. We see all these shoes outside on the stairs, like leading all the way up to it. I'm like, oh, that's fucking strange. Why are these shoes out here? And one of my buddies is like, yeah, back home, we steal all them. So we go up in the bathroom, and in the bathroom, they have these holes in the ground where you piss in. And we're like, what the fuck? Where's the urinals? So we all were drunk, had to piss, so we just start pissing. And a couple of our buddies are just pissing on the walls, doing all this shit. This fucking security guard comes in and starts losing his fucking mind. It was a mosque. It was a and not to mention white, black, infidels in this mosque, and we did not know that. If we'd have known, we wouldn't even have stepped foot on there. But we didn't know we were drunk. So this security guard just screaming at us like, this is a mosque, get the fuck out. And then he's trying to arrest us. And I look over at Zany. I'm like, is he armed? He's like, no. So we just pushed his ass and got the fuck out of there and ran. It's fucking crazy, man. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, that would have been bad.
No.
He didn't call your command?
Hell no. Like, they didn't know who we were. They didn't know who we were. For all they know, it's not like we had wristbands saying who we were. For all they know, we were just some other, bougie Americans there.
Hey, nobody from Lima got arrested. Like those 3 guys, they're all weapons company guys, right?
And that was because there was a wreck, and there was like somebody's daughter, somebody important's daughter.
Princess, or something like that.
Her out.
Called her a C word, gave her the finger, and then they had.
And then Bush had to go over there and pardon them.
Yeah, that's right. And some gunny had to stay with them so they wouldn't get killed.
Yep.
And that gunny was getting he was getting gunny pay, he was getting overseas pay, and he was getting he was making bank watching those Marines. And they got a dishonorable discharge. I mean, because I lived in the same barracks as them when I was getting out in 2008. Like, they were 2 hours down from me.
Was that all they did, though, was cuss her out? Like, that was
They cussed her out, called it a C word. I guess she was like a princess or something, or royalty.
See, what we did was way worse than what they did.
Yeah, dude, you guys defiled the fucking mosque. I mean, it's
to our listen. One, we were drunk. It was dark. We're in a fucking forest in the tree, and I can't read Arabic. Okay, so I didn't fucking know it was a mosque, and the only reason why we figured it out was because the security guard was like, and then the shoes outside. That was another sign. They're not supposed to. We also had our shoes on when we were in there. It wasn't. It's not really a proud moment, but it's more like a. After that, it was like, all right, well, we're not going out and wandering off far anymore after this.
Ryan, I guess you didn't pay attention to the PowerPoint presentation from Gunny.
No, because I was just so worried about, in my mind, I'm 18, 19. I'm like, I can fucking go out here and drink in these bars. Like, are you kidding me right now? In my mind, I didn't give a shit. What they told me is in one ear and out the other.
Hey, did you go to the big mall?
The mall, the one that had the indoor snow ski,
the snow thing. And the ships in it and stuff like that.
The ceiling had the skyline and stuff.
Yeah.
It was nuts.
Did you go skiing?
No, I did not. No, I spent. Listen, if 36-year-old me, if I was there, would go sightsee and do fun things. 18, 19-year-old me was drunk the whole time. So I think that was.
Did y'all go to Y'all went to Turkey, Israel, Suda Bay, Greece, all those places?
The Suez Canal, obviously
Malta.
We all did that. Malta, that was a fun place.
Malta was fun as shit. Hell yes, it was.
That was fun. That was the one where the drinking age, I think, was 16. And I remember sitting down at a bar. They had this street called Bar Street or something.
Yeah.
It's literally they had these good-looking women outside each bar with these shot glasses trying to get you to come in and drink. And then I sat there in this bar. And this 16-year-old emo kid sits down next to me. He looks like he's 12. And I look at him. I was like, what the fuck? You ain't old enough to be here. And he's like, I'm 16. He's just looking at me. I was like, I'll beat your ass. Fucking talk like that.
Dude, yeah, those kids were wearing the jeans, the short jeans. We're like, what the fuck are these kids wearing? I mean, it was
now the kids here are wearing them.
Yeah. My guys were, I remember Malta because my guys were drinking absinthe and that beer Cisk, C-I-S-K. I mean,
that was it. The green drink that's illegal at the time.
Yeah,
here. I don't know if it still
is.
Yeah, that was actually pretty tasty.
My guys were getting fucking retarded drunk. Oh my god! Yeah. And so was I. Did you go to France? You went to France.
Yeah. So I got a story about Toulon, France. Do you remember Smith?
Yeah. See, we didn't go there.
You remember Charlie Smith? He was a Ramadi baby.
Smith. What's he look like?
Short, white dude, stocky. He ended up getting kicked out. He ended up going to the brig and kicked out. He went AWOL.
That guy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now I.
So he initially got in trouble during the Mew. He was on the fire team with me. Another guy named Guido. That was his name. He's Hispanic.
Guido.
Real cool dude. Yeah, Guido. That was his name. So Guido, Smith, and me, had to be battle buddies. Koya made us. We go to France. Smith I think he got roofied because he only had 2 drinks at this bar, and he's just hallucinating. He thinks he's back in Ramadi, and he's running around. He's trying to grab people out of their cars and steal their cars and take off. So we're snatching him, trying to hold him down. He gets up, runs, jumps into a pier, swims to the other pier. So I see my squad leader, all these senior Marines sitting down at a bar just relaxing, and I come running up, and they're looking at me like, oh, fuck. And I was like, Smith's out of control. I don't know what to do. I'm so sorry. So they all get up, grab him, beat the shit out of him, literally hog tie him, have to bring his ass back to the bus. He gets back on the ship. He got into it with First Sergeant, I think Gore was our First Sergeant. Yeah, First Sergeant Gore. Do you remember him? Got into it. First Sergeant Gore obliterated him, and they NJP'd him and basically sent him back home.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I do remember that. Man, that was Damn.
That was my experience in Toulon, France.
We never went. We never went to France. Did you guys go to Italy too?
Malta. That's not. Wasn't that
Malta's right below Italy.
No, we didn't go into Italy. No.
Damn. Okay. Who the fuck went to Italy? Gunston Hall? Go. Yeah, I guess
Maybe
Gunston Hall went to Italy. But Dubai. Did you guys go to Bangladesh?
No, we went to Bahrain.
You're the reason why we couldn't go to Bahrain. Yeah, we were told that the officers were getting in all kinds of trouble in Bahrain. So that's why we had to go to Dubai twice, because we couldn't go to Bahrain.
You'd much rather go to Dubai. Bahrain, they wouldn't let us leave the base in Bahrain. Only E6s and above could leave. So it had to have been, that's probably why.
Oh, that's okay. That sucks.
So like
Damn.
when we went to Spain on the way back for the washdown, it was around the time, or it was close to the time they were having the running of the bulls in that area. And we were planning on like doing a day trip up there, going to get drunk and do that. And our commander found out about it, and they wouldn't let us leave the base. They're like, because it was like some special forces base, or I don't remember. Well, it was whatever base we're on, but we were not allowed to leave.
It was Rota, right? Rota, yes. Spain, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, damn it. But looking back on it, and I watched these videos of running the bulls, I'm like, boy, we'd have been fucking murdered.
Dude, we were on washdown at Rota, and we went outside the circle. We went to a brothel. We went to a whorehouse. Me and Sergeant Hasnute and somebody else. And I kept on like I was going to be the one because I was married. I wasn't going to go in with girls. Well, Sergeant Snoot, he's got like 2 girls in a room. And I'm like, hey, sorry, we got to go. 11 o'clock. That's our Cinderella time. We got to be back. It's freaking 10:35. I've knocked on his door like 4 times. I'm like, Snoop, we got to go. We got to go now. We get into the cab. They drive like 90 miles an hour back to the ship. We're like 3 minutes late getting on ship. And Gunny, what the hell was his name? Shit, who was our Gunny? Gunny Scroggins was our Gunny. And Gunny was like, hey, you guys are late. What's up? I'm like, it was Sergeant's fault. It's not my fault. I blame the sergeant. I buddy fucked the shit out of you. Sergeant Snoot, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so glad you had a good time, but I was not going to let you bring me down another notch. Yeah, but then we went home, and then I don't know if you remember this, but we had somebody pass away when we were in Onslow Bay trying to get home. We had a kid missing. They did roll call. We were sitting in the well deck, ready to go home, and this H&S guy, this box kicker, this supply guy from Haiti wasn't there. They couldn't find him. So we were there for probably about 8 hours while NCIS was searching the boat. They found him outside of the ship, hanging from a rope, because he did not want to go back to Haiti after his enlistment was up.
Oh shit!
I'm not going to say his name.
So they didn't have. Actually, no. It does ring a bell, but that was on your ship, so that's why it doesn't. So we had several guys. We had one in our company that was from Mexico, and several others that were from Puerto Rico. And if they finished their enlistment, the government granted them U.S. citizenship. They wouldn't do that for him.
I don't know. I didn't know his full story. I know he gave me Wiley X's and Gerbers all the time. He was great at that, but I didn't really get to know him too well. But that's the Lance Corporal underground rumor that I heard. Yeah, I could be totally wrong and talking out of my ass, but he was found. We actually were supposed to be home at 11 in Camp Lejeune, and we didn't get back till like 23:30 that night. I mean, it was crazy. And my ex-wife, sorry, she was there waiting the entire time. And soon hereafter we got divorced, and then I married my current wife, who is amazing, and she is at Junior League right now. So I'm waiting for her to come home. I don't know where she is.
Well, it's storming like hell outside right now.
It is. I heard the thunder, man. But Ryan, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so we, when we got back from all that mess, I felt like, to me, looking back on it, I mean, they could have had a little bit more control over it. I know they were used to like the old days, but this goes back to what I was telling you two about them not making sure before, because a lot of these people that got in trouble on those limo ports had gotten off 2 or 3 combat tours. So again, they're homicidal maniacs. And then you're just going to throw them out there. You got guys like Smith trying to literally look like a Grand Theft Auto episode where he's out there running around trying to jack people out of cars, trying to see how many stars he can get before the cops get him. I mean, it's crazy.
They gave after Ramadi, like we went to TQ in like September after our 6 months. So we went to Takatam and we were there for, I swear to God, it was like 12 days and it was supposed to be our defragging, our decompartmentalizing period. And you know what? It was still in a foreign country. Yeah, we didn't, no, they left us alone, but still it was like, we're out here in the heat, suntans, we're eating. I mean, it's not like, I don't know. It wasn't really therapeutic, but they gave us 12 days off before we came home to the States. Then they gave us more leave, but I don't think they prepared us for getting back to the civilian world. I know I had, I had a first-time felony. I was a drunk for 18 years. Like I did some bad shit like right after the Marine Corps. I mean, horrible stuff. I lost friends, lost respect. And, I've had to work on myself for a long time to get back, to be sort of normal and happy, joyous, and free, which I am now, and still a basket case.
Yes. Yes, he is.
Well, I think like when I got out, it's the same thing, because it's the first time like in my life when I was in the Marine Corps that the stuff that we did over there, both good and bad, it's the first time in my life I've ever done all that stuff. First time in my life I've ever seen dead bodies. First time in my life I've ever shot at people. First time in my life I've been shot at. Lost friends, and you process it, and it happens so fast. And when you get out, you're sitting at home and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, it's just a big blur.
It's a big blur.
And like for me, what really helped me was, my kids, my family, that was my friends. I mean, that was a big thing for me. It kept my mind occupied. And I went straight from, I didn't have time to just sit and think because I literally went from the Marine Corps to working in a prison. So I had to keep my tools sharpened. So I had things that I was also doing and seeing that was distracting my mind from war. And then when I became a police officer, still the same stuff, You're still seeing shooting victims, still being shot at, police chases, fights, all this stuff, dead bodies. I can't tell you how many fucked up shit I've seen as a cop, like really fucked up shit. And it's like, at some point you become numb to it, and it's like, if somebody tells you, like, well, so-and-so passed away, condolences, but it's how I handle stuff now is not how I would have handled it when I was 18.
So when you see shit like that on the job, how do you leave it at work? How do you come home?
So everybody, you either figure it out or you end up another story, basically. And like for me, for the longest time, how I would leave it at home is like working night shift was a big way of doing that, because when I came home, it was immediately getting the kids up, getting them ready for school. My mind just stayed busy. I didn't just sit down and decompress. I stayed busy. And then I'd sleep while they're at school. I'd get up, they come home from school. And then they got sports stuff. So they got this and this. And then it's back to work. And what also helped me, if we had a bad incident, like dead children, I don't care how many times I see it, that always gets me. Yeah. So, you have a fucked up thing like that. When you have people that you were there with, it's easier. Like for me and Andrew were in 3-8 together. So if I tell him something about war, it's like, okay, I know I don't feel like, because again, like what I would tell people that got back from war, hey man, and I know this ain't true, but I would say, hey, listen, It's good. You went to war. You're a combat vet. But reality, nobody gives a fuck. Get out here and earn it. Like Alette, when he died, he literally saved my ass and everybody else's ass. If I come back here after I get out and be a menace to society or kill myself or kill other, or commit crimes and do bad things, what the fuck was his death for then? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, because to be honest with you, if I meet somebody at Walmart and I'm like, oh, I was a Marine vet, I was this, they don't give a fuck. Like, they don't. And I have to remind, and I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying that's how I look at it. So I try to, like, I'm usually, and Andrew knows this, I'm usually not as like public about like when I meet people, tell them I'm a cop or I'm in law enforcement, because then, people get a little weird. Like, I was at Gold's Gym one time and I was sitting in the sauna, and this is when I was new in law enforcement. So I didn't know all this. So, and they're talking about what they do, and there's like 5 of us, and just regular people. We're having a regular conversation. And then one of them asked me, like, what do you do? I was like, I'm a cop. Nobody in that room had anything else to say to me after that. And it was, I'll be honest with you, I don't give a, like, I don't care what they do. You know what I mean? Look, I'm not on the fucking job. I'm Ryan Mosley here in this sauna with you guys. I'm not Officer Mosley. And that's how in my mind, I turn it off, because once I take that uniform off, it's off and over. When we have canines in law enforcement, we got canine dogs, and a lot of them, how you train them, when they take them home, they're dog handlers, they take them home and they're in their home with them and they live with them. They're part of their family. And when that dog is trained, when he sees his owner, his partner put that uniform on, his mindset changes. He's at the door and he's alert. He's ready to work. He knows it's time to put it on. But when he comes home and his dog handler takes that uniform off, he's playful puppy now. Like, that's the mentality. Like, for me, what worked for me is I come home, I'm not Special Agent Mosley, I'm not Officer Mosley or Corporal Mosley. Like, I'm dad, I'm Ryan, I'm husband. Again, it's not everybody can deal with it in that way or has that opportunity to come home and stuff like that.
Or it just takes a long time to get to where Ryan is. Like me, it took me forever because I was I was nuts. And then I had to do a lot of modalities to try and figure stuff out, which, by the way, actually, I do have one question for you, Ryan.
Yes.
There's something that went down in Smyrna, and I know if you don't want to talk about it, if there was like, you know where I'm getting at, right?
No, we're like, is it recent?
Sort of, with a cop and some other cops and the female.
Oh, that's Laverne. That's Laverne.
Oh, Laverne. Okay, never mind.
You're talking about Megan Hall and Laverne?
Oh, I thought she was Smyrna PD. I'm so sorry, dude.
No.
Holy shit.
Ain't got nothing to do with us.
Okay, good to go. Sorry, I thought it was Smyrna.
Well, I do know a lot about that because
I bet you do.
Because a lot of those people involved, I know. And, because that's what happens. And a lot of that, and I'll say this, that issue, the reason why it blew up like that is whoever they have, their PO, she was a former news anchor, and Laverne has this old stupid policy that I hope they don't have anymore, that if you're in any form of relationship with an employee, you have to disclose it to their HR. That's what they hemmed all these officers up on, because none of them disclosed what was going on. And that's stupid. Like, why do I need to know who you're fucking? I know I care. Like, unless it's like, I could say if it was a supervisor and a subordinate, yes, that's a problem.
Fraternization.
Right. But if it's, if it's 2 consensual adults and that's just that's their business. If I'm a boss or owner HR, that's not my fucking business. And
no, hey.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I saw I brought that up. Laverne, sorry,
no,
you're
fine. It to me, I was really shocked at how it blew up the way it did, because.
Well, when I saw it on the news, I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I was like, "What the hell is going on down there?" Because I know the mayor. I know the mayor.
And what's funny is when I got hired, when I was going through my background process for this task force that I'm on, my director, he called me and he's like, "Okay, you're Smyrna." He's like, "It's not Laverne, is it?" I was like, "No, it's not," because this is another time that was all going on. I was like, it's real close though. We're right next door. So
yes, you are.
Did that affect you guys at all?
no, absolutely not. No, nope, not one bit. I mean, for us, we were just like, they're fucking dumb for all that leaking out. Like that's their own.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. You know what I mean? Like I felt bad for some of the people for their life getting exposed like that because,
right, yeah.
I mean, it's not like there was any corruption or crime being committed. It was,
right.
You know, like that shit should have never leaked to the news. Should have just been handled in house and been done with it. But I don't know.
Hey, the Marines would know how to handle that kind of stuff.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Because did you have to do remember did you have to go to training in Norfolk, do the helo dunker and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's the one that was right. There's like it wasn't far from our barracks. Yeah, the one where it brings you in and dumps. Fuck that.
Yeah,
man.
You get in, you turn it around. Yeah. Well, we did it in Norfolk.
Okay, no, we did the one there in Lejeune.
Okay, yeah, they rented like a hotel for us, and second platoon we all got HPV because they all ran a train on a girl. Except for me, because I was married. They all second platoon got HPV. They all had to have their bores punched, except for me, thank God. But I have had my bore punched, and it sucks.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. We're animals, Ryan. 3-8 is a
TMI,
punch.
bro. TMI.
Hey, nothing is sacred on this show. Nothing.
No.
That is true.
Yeah, I'm
but
sure.
Ryan, do you
you want to talk about your silver? Hey, Andrew, you want to talk about your silver bullet next?
I've never gotten a silver bullet ever.
I was going to say, you better not have, because the only people that get the silver bullets are the ones that bitch out.
No. I have never had a silver bullet my entire life, and I'm not about to start.
Nope.
Unless my wife gets kinky, no. That's it. No, not for me. Katrina, I love you. Hey, Fleek, how are we looking on time? We good?
Yeah.
Ryan, do you have any words of wisdom for our viewers? Sorry, I'm petting my dog right now, so
yeah. So I'll dive a little bit more into Alette's thing because I know that was a big part, with the book and all that. When that happened that day, again, it was March 22nd, 2009. It was earlier in the morning. We were QRF, and you could hear bombs going off because they'd used some new type of missile, some bulk. I don't know what it was. It was some type of new missile that we had used on them, and they wanted us to go out and do a battle damage assessment, a BDA on it. And instead of, it really wasn't good movement out there on vehicles because there was no hardball. It was all waddies and moon dust and everything. So vehicles tend to get hit all the time out there. So it was actually safer on foot, believe that or not. That's actually crazy thing about that. So we had our, engineers. The one that we had attached to us for QRF, he had just gotten there. He was a combat replacement from the others that got whacked, the combat engineers. And he had not been there long, Corporal Williams. He ended up dying that day too. And when we went out there to do the battle damage assessment, I mean, we were pushing out there. I mean, it was well ways out there. And basically where we thought the missile had impacted was a rubble pile. That was not where it impacted. There was an IED underneath that, a large one. And it got Alette, and it got all of us, knocked us back. He's down, but it triggered an ambush shortly after. It wasn't like immediately, but it was shortly after it set up their ambush because it woke them up, and they came and they had us in an L-shaped ambush. Like, it's surreal. Like, when you train in the Marine Corps and you do stuff like that, it's surreal when you're seeing your own tactics used against you because that's when it's fucking real. And at this point, it's all right. Well, we've got to counteract this because if not, we're going to fucking all die here. And, you got to conserve your ammo. The Marine Corps side just says, fucking just dump rounds into this tree line or this building here. But we're out there for a while. So you got to conserve ammo. But Alette was the one that kept us cool, directed me to set everybody in. We did a reverse L-shaped ambush to basically counteract them. The rest of the fire teams linked up with us. He called in his own medevac 9 line. He also helped and walked in the radio comm guy with the danger close gun run on those Cobra pilots. And there was one point, this is how close the Cobra pilots were, when they were coming down to do a gun run, when we were shooting back at the Taliban. I literally thought that they thought we were the Taliban and they were trying to shoot us. And I'm literally like trying to wave, pop smoke, do something to like show them like, hey, we're friendly. Like that's how close they were, but they were not, they knew what they were aiming at. And I think at one point we were told that every time a Cobra pilot goes down for a gun run, they record it. They got cameras in there that record their gun runs. And they had gotten an idea of how many Taliban they were based on that. And there was anywhere from 50 to 100 Taliban, in an L-shaped ambush on us. And there's maybe 13 of us with 2 casualties at the time. And then when I'm linking back, Hubbard's coming up for the other QRF to get us out of there. As all this is going on, I'm just zoned out trying to shoot, trying to direct fire. Alet's screaming at me. He throws something at me. He's like, hey, get the fuck over here. He's like, take your team, go link up with Hubbard. He's over there in the wadi. So I grab my team. We go to link up. Williams, the whole time, the engineer, he's shook. He's shook the fuck up. He's like, I don't know what happened. I was like, look, forget about it. Let's just get back over there. Let's get out of here. Then we'll talk about it. Now, in the infantry, we all have dog tag in our boots. So the engineers, their little trick they would do to test to make sure their sensors were working is they would take the minesweeper and put it on their boot where the dog tag was. If it picked up, they knew it was working. So he did that, and he's like, it's working. I don't know what happened. I was like, look, man, let's just go. So this guy's already shook up. He's out of his element. I saw a dip in a wall, and I see Hubbard coming up, and I'm yelling at Hubbard. Do you see me? He's like, no, I don't. So I was so desperate I was going to start like shooting my gun in the air. Like that's how stupid you don't think of things like that. So I told him, I was like, look, we got to get over this. I got to get to him. So as soon as I look over on this side, he steps on another one, and it gets his ass. It knocked all of us out. Bodie, my guy, Lance Corporal Bodie, he's got shrapnel, still comes out of his eye to this day. He got a Purple Heart. He got pretty fucked up on his face, and his face is bloody and muddy, and he's like screaming. He's like, I can't see. I was like, hey, man, it's just mud. It's just mud. He's like, is it bad? Because he's from Alabama. He's really country. He's like, is it bad? Is it bad? I was like, no, man, you're fine. He goes, don't lie to me, Lance Corporal. I was like, motherfucker, you're fine. So then I told him to just sit there. And it is funny looking back on it now on that part. But so when Hubbard finally links up, we get Williams out of there because Williams was gone. There's not much left of him. He's gone. Get my other 2 riflemen. And of course, Bodie, he thinks I'm going to leave him. He's like, man, don't forget me. I was like, shut the fuck up. Get on there. Go. So then I take Hubbard and his squad, and because they didn't know where Alet was. So I brought them back to Alet. As we're walking back to Alet, we're trying to get there as quick as we can and not step on IED. They start shooting at us again because they see us coming. So now they're triggering their gunfire on us. And we're trying to shoot back as we're moving, but the engineer right in front of me, Hobson, we call him Crazy Eye Hobson because one of his eyes is like crazy. Like it's like candid off. He's still alive. He's still doing real good. He lives in Kentucky, by the way. Hobson, if you're there, what's up, man? But I'm trying to shoot back, and he turns around. He's like, stop, I can't hear, because he's got to hear for his sweeper. So when we're shooting, he can't hear. So we're all just having to just get shot at and take it and walk. So I'm like, my Kevlar like this, thinking that if a round hits, it's going to ricochet down. Like that's how close they were. So then we get back and we link up and we get everybody back. And, it was a surreal moment because when we got to our LZ and we're loading him up, I was already out. And Gunny Kaufman comes up to me and he's like, y'all good? I was like, yeah, we're fine. Where's Alet? He was still in the dock in the box. And we had this thing called a dock in the box where it was basically a bulletproof Connex box on top of a 7-ton. And it had a fucking surgeon doctor in there. So it could go out with QRF and start working on your casualties. And so he was in the dock in the box waiting on the bird to land. And Alet was still awake and still cussing up a storm. And I get in there. I was like, you good? And he's like, yeah, I'm good. Tell everybody I'm proud of him. I was like, all right, man, we're good. So I knew he was going to be fine. So we get back. And they had just brought Connex boxes for showers because we were one of the first initial Marine units there. We didn't have showers for the first 5 months. We had nothing. And it was too cold in the winter to do solar bags. So we just had baby wipes. So we had gotten our first shower of our deployment. Now, we had gotten there in October, early October. This is March, late March. Finally, they felt sorry for us. They let us shower after this. So we had a shower. And then we're all cutting up, joking. We get back in the QRF hooch. And that's when Krugman came in and he just went straight to it. He's like, Alet died. Like we thought he was coming in to tell us that Williams had died, which we all knew that was inevitable, but they have to call it. But we did not expect that about Alette. And the thing about what had happened with that, he got his Navy Cross. We got to go to that ceremony. It was beautiful. But when you hear this story, and I'm sure y'all have heard it from John Warren, more detailed, you read the book. I mean, I could go on about it for hours. That man should have got a Medal of Honor. Should have got a Medal of Honor. He still can. He still should. The biggest reason why he didn't, and this is my opinion on it, there was no E6 or officer out there when all this went on. Y'all know, like I know, that most Medal of Honors, when they're written up by E6s, staff NCOs, or officers. We didn't have any out there. Alette was the highest ranked person out there. He's a corporal. I was the second highest ranked person out there. I was a lance corporal at the time. We are getting ambushed by 50 to 100 Taliban in the fucking shit. And Alette was the highest ranked person out there. If there would have been an E6 or above out there or an officer out there, he would probably have a damn high school named after him right now. That's the sad reality to it. It's almost like, well, it didn't happen if an officer went out there. That's fucking bullshit. Everybody knows it happened because everybody was there. Everybody saw it. They could see it from the fucking fob, from their comfort of their fob. So that was my beef with it. But again, looking back on it, Andrew, you know, like I know, did you like going on patrols with the E6s or officers? Fuck no.
No, not particularly.
No, you had more fun. There was a time when we were in Afghanistan, there was a town just south of us, and it actually had people in it. And we would go down there and try to talk to them. And there were some guys that would come up with the translators, talk to us. We were trying to engage, you know, because the Taliban would have curfews on their town. Basically would say, you know, they have poppy fields out there. They controlled it. The guys that we talked to, there was one guy in particular we kept talking to. One morning we get up, he's hanging from the town right in front of us. Like they hung his ass to show all the other people and us, like, hey, you talk to them. So what we did was we went on a night mission that night. We go out there. And Alette was like, sir, we're going to go out. We're just going to do a night patrol through the town. He's like, can I come? He's like, no, we got it. We go out there. There was a couple of Mercedes cars. And you know that they were Taliban because none of those people in the town could afford that. You got guys spiking their tires, you know, throwing flares in them, like fucking shit up, like just basically just paying them back. We could have done all that if we had officers and stuff out there.
No, you're right. You do have more fun when officers are not present. I remember, not me, but I was part of the squad, but these guys behind us, they lit the taxi cab stand on fire in Karma. It was hilarious. It was the funniest thing I ever seen. And you could not do that if there was a captain or a lieutenant on duty. And yeah, I just, you know, I miss the patrols. I miss you guys. I don't miss garrison at all. I miss being deployed with y'all. But I miss the camaraderie. I just miss you guys. I do. And I wish we could hang out, but we've got lives and you know, we're trying to help.
He doesn't like you because you're a cop now.
What? Dude, I rode with him in his squad car.
Yeah.
His little POS, like what?
Hey, I upgraded to a Durango, thank you, my last few years.
Oh, you have a Durango. Oh, dude, his
now
car
I got an undercover Dodge Charger, okay? So
dude, his car before was like this 1987 like brown. It looked like a constable car. I was like, dude.
That's what I had. I was a senior guy.
His shift was all like, and he's right, because nothing really goes down at like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Ryan had like the graveyard shift. Like, we're too tired to cause crimes because everybody's like in bed or they're drunk or they're high or whatever. Like he's, you know, he gets to train his, you know, his little boot campers.
So the other reason too to caveat that is why I stayed on night shift is because we got to be cops. There wasn't no higher ups around. We get in police chases. We actually got more action than the other shifts, like fun action.
Really?
Because you have So a lot of police pursuits, a lot of foot chases, a lot of bar fights. There is a lot of downtime on night shift, but I found a lot of big dope pops. I mean, everything like
what?
stuff that stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Dude, I would have thought like, but chases at like 3 o'clock in the morning, really?
Yep. Yeah,
That just
man.
sounds.
Listen. That's when the criminals are out trying to break into your fucking cars. Is 3 in the
That
morning.
sounds tiring. Like
Yeah.
3 o'clock in the morning and running after someone. Like, wait, let me catch my breath. Hold on.
Well, that's because you're an old white guy.
Yeah, hey, I'm 10 years older and I'm 10 years younger than you, and I'm 10 years older than you. Yes, I am an old white guy with bad knees. Thank you, Ramadi. Thank you to the 22nd View, and thank you to Karma.
So
And my wife just got home, so that's the dogs barking. I'm sorry.
So this is a cool story that came out of Alette's thing. So Alette died March 22nd, 2009. Before 2 days, I got to see my oldest daughter, Samantha. She's in high school now, about to be 15. This is how long ago this was. She was born the week before I went to Afghanistan. I got to see her like 3 or 4 days before she went home. So when I came back home, of course, she's older and all this. So I came back home to her. And a couple of years later, I had a son who I named Michael after Michael Alette. My son was born March 22nd, 2011. He was born 2 years to the day. Yeah, my son's birthday is March 22nd, 2011. And his name is Michael.
Right.
And his middle name is Stephen, who I named after Stephen Koya, the guy that poured Coke all over me my first day.
Koya, that's a S-T-E. Stephen was with a V, right? Stephen Koya was with a V, not
yes,
a
he was
PH.
a V. He was a V.
Yeah. See, V's are assholes. I'm a PH. I'm a kitten, dude.
Hey, you're right about that, though. Yeah, because Koya was an
Koya,
asshole.
I'm sorry, man. I hope you're doing great in Rhode Island. I'm sorry, my bad, buddy. I'll come.
Your
up
name
and
doesn't
see you
count because
sometime.
you have too many damn names.
Hey, it's my confirmation name, man. I got a family thing. I got the real name. Yeah. I got the confirmation name, and I got my last name. All right. It's easy.
So when I tell people about that with Mikey, like to me, I found that was crazy because I was pretty tight with Alette's sister Stephanie and Alette's late mother and her his late mother Donna, and their brother. Let's got a brother too, Alan. They're all great people. We go up there. We try to go up there from time to time to see all of them. They're really good people. And when I told them, I found out I was having a boy. I was like, all right, guy named Mikey. Because Alette, we called him Mikey. So my son, I call him Mikey. His name is Mikey. And when he was born maybe a week early, like he wasn't supposed to be born on that day. I was at work. And my wife at the time, she called, she said, I think I'm going into labor. I was like, and it didn't dawn on me the day. And he was born like 45 minutes till midnight. So if it had been born an hour later, he wouldn't have been that day. So I was like, that shit needs to come on. This would be crazy. It worked. So, but yeah, that was one, takeaway from that. And, being in law enforcement now and the stuff that I do, I'll be honest with you, man, we don't see many veterans now in law enforcement like there used to be. And I don't know what changed. I personally, like a lot of the guys that I was in the military with, they'd be phenomenal officers or phenomenal Border Patrol agents or, Secret Service, whatever. For some reason, they go different paths, which is fine. It's to each their own. But I just feel like some of the stuff we've done and everything that they did in the military, if they could apply that to this shit out here in the civilian world, and I wouldn't be having to train 22-year-old dumb college kids. So
yeah, that's true.
And I'm telling you, the ones that I get, these are rare, but the ones when I was an officer, the ones that I got that were military veterans, squared the fuck away. Most of them just squared the fuck away. And they understood. They understood, like, hey, you're new. You're in training, seen and not heard. You're not here to be buddies with everybody. You're learning your job. Don't come in and be the cocky new asshole. I get 22, 23-year-old college kids, and I tell them, like, hey, if we're after a call, I'm seeing me talking to the senior officer, you go sit in the car. And they get so butthurt about that. I'm like, look, I'm not going to engage in a personal conversation with another officer because we're probably talking about something work-related or personal. You don't need to know about this. You are learning your job because you might hear something that you don't want to hear, and I don't trust you right now. I don't know. Like, right. I don't want them to either not like the job. I want them to stay because we need bodies and we need good people. So I tried to employ my, not all the crazy hazing stuff, but the the good military, tactics and training with some of these new officers. And it worked, man.
TTP.
Put them to work.
TTP.
And I put them to work, and it did. It worked out good. And a lot of the officers I have, they're still here. I still see them out, and it's good to see that. But yeah, I mean, that was my take on it. I don't know if y'all hear other things why, but I'm really shocked that a lot of, especially combat vets, aren't out here, working patrol or other stuff. It's just really odd. Maybe they're just over it. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Ryan, it's a pleasure seeing you. Fleek, do you have anything else? Any other questions for him?
No, I'm good, man.
Ryan, thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
Thank y'all for having me on. It was great, man. Thanks. And Andrew, you have to come kidnap me again here soon.
Well, hey, dude, we're all in the same VFW together, so hopefully I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, dude, we get to meet at a new building next month. So
where's it gonna be at?
1250 1257 Southeast Broad Street. It's right next to MJ's.
Okay.
And it's going to be the third Monday, so we've switched our meetings from Thursday to Monday. So it's kind of like a concert venue with a VFW inside. That's how I like to explain it. But you'll have a good time. Just come on over and see us.
All right. Well, stick around for 1 second till we sign off. Thanks, Ryan, for jumping on. Ryan. Yeah, and thank you for your service, man. It was a great episode.
Thanks, Ryan. That's awesome, man.
And our listeners.